totally agree with that. And like I said at the beginning, I connect people to their spaciousness within, deeper and deeper and deeper into the cosmic womb. And we are multidimensional beings. We are all of it and none of it. So rioting is really a language of the unheard. And if I can sing a little song, it's like, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. And that's coming from my mother aspect. And it's really, if I think about the whole fractal, whole multidimensional aspect of it, looking at it, I've been writing a few notes with all of you lovely people on the panel today, that looking at it from the optometrist I was, looking at the physicist, the inside is the cause and outside is the effect. Okay, there's always an equal and opposite balance. When can you, as an individual person, just step back and take a look at it from a higher level? All that's happening in the world is actually happening within you right now. So watch out for those rabbit holes. As Neo, as Neva the Neo, I say, are you awake? Are you aware in each breath? Take a breath. Are you awake in this eternal now moment? Ask yourself that. From a numerology point of view, I've had many chats with Brother Sevan. We are all the numbers. Encompass all the numbers, because we are the entire universe. In one moment, I may be a 3 and a 5, but those are my basic numbers, encompassing the holistic self as a noble sovereign being. As a reality transurfer, I had a look at it as, wow, this is a big swing of a pendulum. How much importance am I giving to that other side of the pendulum? And the more you feed the equal opposite, the more this pendulum is going to swing in that way, because whatever you give attention to, you give energy to. By saying I'm black, I'm actually saying I'm not black, because black, as an artist, I had to look at it like, well, black is all the colors of the spectrum. So who are you being then? Ask yourself, who am I in this moment? And I had to go in myself, in my silence that I've had this week. Who am I? I'm a British Indian. I was born in Kenya. Like, who am I? Like, I'm everything. But I became everything by being nothing, by letting go of what roles I was holding on to. As a mother, I always say to my children, stop right there, take a breath, put a hand on your heart, take 3 breaths, and ask yourself right now, in this situation right now, what would love do? What would love do in this situation right now? And that kind of, there's so much happening, not just on this planet at the moment, but cosmically. There's a big destruction happening of all egoic forms. There's a massive timeline split that is happening, huge split that is happening. We've got the destruction of the systems of chaos in the whole Pentagon, the CIA. Basically, it's just showing up the lack of capacity that has been carried out because they haven't been in alignment through their egoic structures. And these incoherent different forces and powers have come into play, which is unfolding different chaoses of systems that we're also seeing the microcosm and the macrocosm reflect each other. Majority of the planets are in retrograde at the moment. 3 eclipses this month. The magnetic sphere of the Earth has been affected. The Schumann resonance has gone up. So there's huge cosmic chaos happening as well. But with every implosion, there is an explosion. With every evolution of consciousness, a soul has to go into their involution of consciousness. But this has to be on an individual basis. In terms of the galactic forces, the whole galactic federation of light is surrounding the whole planet. So this is a real separation of the sheeples from the sheep. Like, are you going to follow the old structure, or are you going to be a people's person and follow your heart from this? And it's very important to become immune to these forces within our own consciousness. And so I started having a look at the masks, even the masks that we had to wear during the coronavirus, but more deeper than that, looking at consciousness, my pet subject of conscious evolution, that what is the persona of the mask you're wearing as a person? What is the role you're playing? The false identification. Am I Indian? Am I Black? Am I African? Am I Kenyan? Am I British? Am I this? I'm all of it, because I embody all of it through my spaciousness. And all of these were, even looking at the word persona, that's your personal sona. What is sona? It is sound. What is your sound frequency? What sound frequency are you resonating with your voice? What are you going to now, from this moment, speak out to the masses, first in your microcosm at home with your family, because that's where everything starts, then to the macrocosm, to the world? Are you going to go out with this sense of shame, blame, anger, and anxiety? Or are you going to rise into the neutrality of your heart space first? Take a breath, connect to your higher self, again through the breath, which I repeat once, again and again, and then look at this situation from a higher level, which in the Greek language is called the prosophon, which is how would a soul consciousness, a higher consciousness, actually perceive this situation? Like I said at the beginning, you can't perceive a situation from a level of consciousness that started it off. You have to detach yourself. And so in Advaita, Advaita Vedanta, which is what I practice in Sri Vidya, in the Sri chakra, as you go further in, as you implode, because it's not looking out there, it's looking within. The further you go into your higher consciousness, which Brother Sevan said, climbing that ladder of lights, climbing the Meru, is, am I going to create from a situation of creating more karma and more attachments? Or am I going to look at this as a detached observer through the peace and the love in my heart space, and then come back to the situation and decide what I want to do to overcome the external chaos that is presenting itself to me in my external reality right now? So it really is a multifaceted gemstone that we're looking at just now, in this bifurcation of what is really happening on our planet. So wholeness.
Woo, we're gonna have to pause for that one for a moment, digest. As Brother Q says, grasp. But yeah, I mean, it's serious. Let's take a moment to, just dial in and remember who we are, right? And, our sisters just got so much knowledge and wisdom, by the way. They're going nuts in the chat over you. And
talk on the Leela talks in Secretenergy, I spoke about just the consciousness that what did we come here with that we're not going to lose in this life, and what are we going to leave here with that we were just experiencing? Like, we came here with nothing, with open hands, and when we leave, we're also going to leave with open hands. So what is our greatest abundance? It is our consciousness, and it is our prana, from one life to another life in the parallel infinite lives that we have. And so what's been happening at the moment is that the human consciousness has been fragmenting into the external world of ego dependency, money, jobs. It's the Kardashian culture of the outward roles and the masks that you have to play. But take a step back from all of that. Take a free fall into the void, into the Divine Mother's womb, and get a great shift into the system of, shift away from this system of governance and increase your level of consciousness, and don't be attached to the bodily structures of ego structure, because what's happening now is the ego is having a massive slap. Ego of the lower chakras. It's got a massive slap of a wake-up call, and it's saying to you, well, what were you so addicted to in your conditional security of life, in your base chakras, in that dysfunctionality of what you were living in? How are you going to rise up the chakras? As Brother Sevan said, the Kundalini of the earth is rising. She's rising. Shakti is here. And so if you're going to be in that ego consciousness field, you fall into the forces of meltdowns and you can lose your alignment very easily because you're ego bound and you're dependent, you're interdependent on many desires of wanting, hoping, wishing, praying. But as a reality transfer, we always say, I do not hope, I do not wish, I do not pray, I have pure intentions. And this accesses you to your higher consciousness superpowers. And you know, the Shakti herself, she is awake. She, in the womb of herself, she has the water. She has the oasis of the water within her, which is eternally yours if you access it, so that in that presence, in that silent space, you can then distribute that essence to others who are dying of thirst in this moment on this planet at the moment. Wholeness.